check. No one likes us, we don't care. Hit the logo on the cap, midnight green on the brim. Pro fan talk, every take in the gym. From the link to the league, I'm connected to the spin. Breaking news, breaking plays where you really want to tap in. Philly on my tongue when I'm calling out a route. Pull a clip, roll a tape, then we talk it out. All 22 on my mind, see the motion pre-snap. I'm in the lab with the facts, you just scrolling through the app. Jalen with the read, I'm explaining what you missed. Why the safety bail late, why the cornerback blitz. From the pass rush twist to the red zone slant. Coach Marcus on the mic with the real fan chant. Pro fan talk, hit the bell, that's law. Break it down from the film to the box score room. Pro fan talk, where the real ones call. From the birds to the league, we gon' cover it all. From the draft room rumors to that waiver wire heat. Trade buzz humming like the crowd on Broad Street. Sunday to Monday, I'm recapping every snap. Tuesday got the bald Eagles filling in the gaps. Eagles on the header, but the scope league wide. How we making deals for the vets on the slide. Quarterback drama, I'ma sort that pile. Coach on the podium, read between the lines. I'm talking rivalries, upsets, underdogs rise, overtime classics, blown calls, bad drives. Shaq going crazy when the topic get wild. So we keep it all game, keep it smart, keep it down. Pro fan talk, hit the bell, that's score. Break it down from the film to the box score raw. Pro fan talk.
What's going on, y'all? Ooh, why am I looking all purple? What the hell, man? What is going on with this camera, man? Man, you already know, bro. You already know, man. Hold on for a second, man. Why am I looking all why am I looking all purple like Augustus Gloop up in this bitch? What the heck? Hold on. I thought I was cinematic. Let me go back to original. Why is there this purple sheen on me? I don't know. Brightness, contrast, saturation, temperature, exposure. I'm about to start messing with these a little bit more. There we go. That's a little bit better. That's a little bit better. We'll leave it at that. I ain't gonna spend too much time on it. What's going on? Yeah, I said Augustus glue. That's old school. They don't know about that. Now I'm looking. Now my head look like it's on fire. This side of my head look like it's burning up. It might be a little bit too bright. Hold on. All these problems pop up. I ain't never seen these issues before. Golly. Get that, drop that back down. Shadows. Yeah, we got some old. Get some sharpness up there. You know what I mean? All right, we're going to live with it. It is what it is. But what's going on? Looking at all this news coming out, man. Of course, the Myles Garrett stuff. 2 weeks after the Max Crosby stuff. And I wanted to jump on here for a minute. I'm on my lunch break. We back to doing live at lunch again, but I'm not gonna be on too long, about 20, 25 minutes, man. I gotta be up out of here before 1:30. But I just wanted to say, man, and you guys know I've been saying this for a long time. For a long time. Just step back and let Howie Roseman do his work. That's it. That's it. I've told y'all before, I trust Howie Roseman completely. He is the best in the business at what he does. And when you look at everything that's going on around, you see they just restructured Myles Garrett's contract in Cleveland. Not that they're going to trade him, but now the possibility exists that they could if they really wanted to. And this is the same situation. Matter of fact, in this particular article that I'm reading, this is from Sports Illustrated, this particular article references that they got the idea from what Howie Roseman was doing. Howie Roseman did the same thing in this A.J. Brown situation. You push everything back to after June 1st, then the dead cap money lowers. It's not as much of an impact. This is the same. They go from, what is it? Let me find it. They go from like 70 million to like 40. It's like it's almost the same exact situation. And then they give they talk about, they list the possible destinations for Myles Garrett. And of course the Eagles are in there. But could I see Howie putting something together? Absolutely. Is it plausible? Yes, it's plausible. Is it Do you think there's a high percentage of that going to happen? I don't know. And the fact that I'm like, I don't know is what is exciting because, again, just take your hands off it and let Howie Roseman work and do what he does. You know what I'm saying? So um I'm trying to find it because they the rate the way oh I know what it is. Yeah. Hold on, let me bring y'all into this. Um right. So here it is. So Cleveland Browns restructured Myles Garrett's contract, right? Um in 2026 by shifting option bonus payments for 26 through 28 from March to September, converting 8 million of the 2029 and 2030 salary into roster bonuses. This move created immediate cap flexibility and lowered his trade-related dead cap hit. Though the Browns are reportedly adamant they are not trading the defensive player of the year. So they just freed up a bunch of money. And you go down here. Here's the key, and this is where they took from Howie. Cap trade impact. This change lowers his pre-June 1st trade debt cap hit from 70.3 to 41.09 million. That is damn near half. So they watching. Huh. If he can do it, we can do it too. What's going on? So um I just like stuff like this, man, because this is just again, it just leans into Howie Roseman knows what the hell he's doing. And everybody else is finally catching up. He's ahead of the pack. You know what I mean? Keeping pace. So it's I'm gonna go on a little tangent here real quick, but if you've ever any of my gamers out there, you'll know. If you've ever played like a racing game, Forza, Gran Turismo, anything like that, any type of racing game, the hardest place to be is out front because you're not chasing anybody. So it's just you and the track, which means you gotta know the track. You gotta know the lay of the land so you don't take a curve too hard and everything. That's the hardest place to be. When you in the back, you can draft off of other people in front of you. You can see if they taking a wide turn, they taking it too tight. Um, you can basically see where the track's going by looking at the people ahead of you. When you out front, it's all about you and how much you studied the track. Howie Roseman has studied the track. He knows the lay of the land. He knows where the tight corners are. He knows where the hairpins are. He knows where the wide arcs are, the uphills, the downgrades. He knows all of that stuff. And everybody else is just catching up. Everybody else is just catching up. And I love the situation because let me be honest with you, as much as I want AJ Brown to stay, now I'm like, there's just as much a part of me that says he's probably going to go as there is he's probably going to stay. And I have no idea. And again, I keep hearing all these people talking all of this stuff they don't know. Adam Schefter came out again and was like, listen, basically Adam Schefter is trying to sound professional in his saying, I don't know. And everybody keeps pushing them and pushing them. And what you know about the deal? And they don't know shit. They don't know nothing. They don't know nothing. And when you hear all of these pundits talking about, I've had my people that say, those people are just people looking on the outside in like everybody else. They don't know. But I guarantee you, whatever happens, wherever, however it ends up, if he stays in Philly, if he's traded, I guarantee you, you're going to have all these folks coming out. See, remember when I said that they wasn't going to trade him? Remember when I said they wanted to get rid of him? Remember when I said everybody's going to, what they're doing is they're coming out with these hot takes and these opinions. But what they're doing is they're spacing them out and they talk on both sides of the fence. Because I guarantee you, it's going to be some people that talk about all you've heard them talk about is, I know he's getting traded. Most likely he's going to get traded. And then A couple of times they'll be like, well, I don't know. It could happen. So what they do is they put out these sound bites so they can cover their ass either way. Cowherd does that a lot. If he gets traded, I told you, remember when I said this on my podcast 6 months ago? If he doesn't get traded, well, I told you there was a chance that he wouldn't get traded. Remember when I said this on my podcast 3 months ago? So they saying stuff on both sides of the fence. So that way, regardless of what happens, they're going to cherry pick what sound bites to bring back. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. But I just thought everybody's going gaga over the Myles Garrett situation. In my opinion, I think the Browns would be crazy to trade him. Although, could I see well, let me say it like this. Would you trade AJ Brown and Jalen Carter for Myles Garrett? AJ Brown, Myles Garrett, AJ Brown, Jalen Carter, and a draft pick. Is that worth Myles Garrett? Because people, everybody saying hell no, but I guarantee you, there's some people out there and be like, well, see, what happened was because here's the reality, at least my reality. Because I agree with you, I don't think we would be losing too much. If Jalen Carter was 3 years older, maybe I would consider that. But since Jalen Carter is so young, but when you have a player like Myles Garrett, anything is on the table because he's worth anything you pay. Because I would say this: would I do that deal? No, I wouldn't. However, I know Myles Garrett is going to produce. I have no doubt, unless bar injury is always ever present, always ever present. So we could we could end up with somebody like Jalen Phillips or Zach Bond, or we could end up in a situation like Bryce Huff. Paid Bryce Huff, got that trade in, got him in here, and then he gets hurt. So we never knew what he could turn into. We just don't know. So injury is ever present. That is always a risk. But my point is that when you have somebody like Myles Garrett, you know what you're going to get from him. You know he is going to produce. You know it. We didn't know what Zach Bond was going to do. We didn't know what Jalen Phillips was going to do. We hoped. We didn't really know. Let's go back a couple seasons. We didn't know what Ndamukong Suh was going to do or Linval Joseph. And they came in and made an immediate impact. Ndamukong Suh was good, damn good. And I was one of the ones like, how at his age, what is he really going to do? And guess what? He was still effective. He was still productive. He still caused havoc. And Ndamukong Suh made offenses game plan him. And you guys have heard me say that before. Jalen Carter, every time he gets on the field, is a game plan. They have to figure out a way to double team him. And now they got to figure out a way to double team Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter. So now if you take one of those off the board and you, just hypothetically, you put Myles Garrett on the edge, you got to game plan Myles Garrett. You have to. But that doesn't negate Jalen Carter or Jordan Davis in the middle. Let's not forget Jalen Hunt. Let's not forget the other guys in there that nobody really talks about. So what's going on, man? I'm just hypothetically fantasizing. That's what I'm doing. But you see all of these different ways. Somebody like that, somebody like Myles Garrett can just change your whole outlook on what you could or couldn't do. Right? So it's not that I think that Howie Roseman is going to go balls to the wall to try to get Myles Garrett, because everybody said the same thing when the Max Crosby trade fell through. I know Howie's on the phone. You don't know what's going to happen, but to me, that's the best thing, because now nobody knows what can happen. Howie could be throwing a curveball. Everybody thinks Myles Garrett, maybe he's trying to get a deal done for Max Crosby. Maybe because Max Crosby was hurt, his price may have dropped. I don't know. But strange things happen the closer you get to the NFL draft. Strange things happen, man. It's still a bunch of people that are just dead set sold that June 2nd, A.J. Brown's going to be traded. And they're going to talk the deal. We already knew that the deal was done, and they're going to play it like they knew for months and it was under the table and all that kind of stuff. I guarantee you, mark my words. What's today's date? March 27th, 1:15 p.m. Mark that date. So whenever the news on A.J. Brown going to stand happens, watch how many people say, I told you, I knew this was going to happen. We reported, because everybody done covered their bases on both sides of the fence. Everybody is going to try to act like they was right. I've been telling you this for weeks. I need to get me a bingo card. I've been telling you this for weeks. My sources said I need to make me a bingo card for all of these responses to when this trade happens, and people are going to try to claim that they knew forever. Guarantee you. They don't have no clue. They don't have no effing clue, man. They don't know what's going to happen. I'm not 100% opposed to trading for Jalen Carter from Myles, but I don't want that to happen. The money makes sense because we already have JD locked up, plus JC's character issues. I agree 100%. And in my opinion, Myles Garrett's just overall talent, and I would say this about Max Crosby, but even in my opinion, Max Crosby, the difference between Max Crosby and Myles Garrett is a big gap, and Max Crosby is damn good. But Myles Garrett, in my opinion, Myles Garrett is getting into that Reggie White type level. He's getting into that stratosphere. Because again, there's something to be said when you have a player on the opposite team and you know what he is going to do. So you game plan to stop that particular person, and you still cannot do it. That's how AJ used to be 3-4 seasons ago. When we went to the Super Bowl in 2022, that's how AJ was when they was throwing on the ball. They was giving them the ball on them quick slants. They knew it was coming, and they still could not stop him. And then we stopped doing it. It ain't like he can't get open no more. We stopped the bread and butter stuff. I said that a lot last year. Like, it wasn't, everybody knew he was running a quick slant, and he would break a tackle and turn a 5-yard gain into a 15-20 splash play. That's what made A.J. Brown so good, because he was fast and he was strong. And he was making them fingertip catches. So we can still get back to that. And here's another one for you. Did y'all see Cam Jurgens on Bussin' with the Boys admit that he had a displaced disc in his back that was resting on the sciatica? Anybody who's ever dealt with sciatic pain know what the hell that is like. But that goes back to my point and what I said during the season. If you're hurt like that and you can't function, get them off the field. My question is this. I'm not going to question your grittiness and you're willing to sacrifice and lay it on the line and all of that kind of stuff. I know you're tough. I know you're going to shoot me up, dead to pain, and I'm going to get out there and do the best I can do. I knew you were going to do that. My problem is this. In your gritty, gutsy performance, if you still getting beat, you're not helping the situation. To me, goes back to which coaches was making that decision. So again, and I said this before, never thought in a million years that what I think we had a Jeff Stoutland problem. Because I have to put that on Stoutland, like, bro, you had to know he was hurt. Then you have to ask the follow-up question. If we knew he was hurt to that degree, what was wrong with the backups? What was wrong with the backup plan? Because you can't tell me the backup plan could have played any worse. Our offense was hamstrung all year. Then you have to go all the way back, and this is another issue. You got to go all the way back. And now, do you have to reevaluate the lens that you looked at Kevin Patullo with? We tried to skewer him out the door. But now, Cam Jurgens just said, I was 50%. I was not good. I could barely walk. You look like it. And we knew it. So if we knew it, all the other teams could see it, and they teed off. And our run game was absolute trash. And Saquon still barely got 1,000 yards. I mean, he just nipped it over the bud. Hey, man, AJ. So if we can't protect, if we got to get the ball out quick, if Jalen Hurts is running for his life, if Saquon is making people miss 2 yards in the backfield, that changes the whole complexion. So I got to ask again, and I'm just keeping it 100 because I was one of the ones I was like, yeah, maybe Kevin Patullo bit off a little bit more than he could chew. Did he? Coming off of the performance of our offensive line in 2024 as we won the Super Bowl, and your new offensive coordinator says, if I can do some things with that offensive line, but that offensive line was the ghost of itself. And we were struggling all year just to run in between the tackles. We could not do it. Saquon could not do anything inside the tackles. Mostly all of his splash plays were bounced outside. That's why Tank Bigsby was so good. So do we owe Kevin Patullo an apology? Did we drop the hammer? Did we drop the guillotine a little bit too fast? When maybe some of the blame, is there a different adjective? Blame, responsibility, accountability. Some of that's got to go on Jeff Stoutland. And I hate saying that because, when he announced that he was leaving, I was in my feelings. Because as far as I was concerned, Jeff Stoutland was untouchable. If they had a Hall of Fame for coaches, he would be first in line, in my opinion. But you can't ignore how it went down. And now the boy said he was hurt. Jurgens said he was hurt badly. And it ain't just hurt like wrap it up, I can get over it. Nah, not when you're talking about a pop disc in your back. That's a whole nother set of circumstances. That's a whole nother conversation. And you talking about it rested on my sciatica. What? Sometimes sciatic pain will drop you to your knees immediately. And you got to play with it? Maybe that's why we didn't run the tush push so much. We didn't have a damn center that could block it. So all of these new, give it time. You just give it some time, and all of these new facts come to light. And you got to pause, and you got to back up a couple steps. And you got to look at the macro. You got to look at what's going on. Back when we was kids, you used to always go play in the woods. This is back when we played outside. I know I'm going back. Some of y'all might not understand. But if you just happen to live in a neighborhood, like we did back in the 70s and the early 80s, when these neighborhoods and subdivisions was just getting built, so that we were always surrounded by the woods. So we would always go play in the woods. And eventually you would find yourself a little creek. And what do boys do? They try to jump over the creek to the other side. But before you do that, you got to look at it and you got to decide how far you got to back up to get a running start. Because you got to judge how fast you got to go and how high you got to jump to clear this creek. And everybody didn't make it. Some people fell backwards into the creek, and they had to go home with bugs and water and dirty water and all of that kind of stuff. That's just the way it happens. You got to be able to judge what's in front of you. We might have to revisit some of this. Because maybe, just maybe, I'm not saying, I'm just saying, maybe we may have dropped that guillotine a little bit too quick. All things being considered. Because I've said this before. Me and Tone talked about this on the Bald Eagles podcast. I want to say 2 weeks ago, we talked about this. If the offensive line had blocked anywhere near the way they did in 2024, does Kevin Patullo still have his job? And I say he does. Because even with Kellen Moore, Saquon Barkley was covering a whole lot of warts. A whole lot of warts. Maybe it's the same way. I don't know. But in any case, we here now. It's water under the bridge. Ain't nothing we can do about it but go forward. So I'm very interested to see now, based on whatever, based on what Cam Jurgens has said, now he feels like he's 100%. He's finally got some rest. Him and Landon Dickerson finally got some rest. Lane Johnson, I hope his hamstring is better. All of that stuff. So now, with this new offensive line coach, I am expecting, as long as they stay healthy, I am expecting our offensive line to look a hell of a lot better than it did last year. And you know what they're going to say? We didn't really drop off with Jeff Stoutland leaving. We got a new professor in Stoutland University. You got to look at it in a different way. Injuries matter. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. So maybe we dropped that guillotine a little bit too soon. But you got to look at the macro. Got to look at everything. So I'm looking at it's going to be the Wild Wild West in a minute. The closer we get to this draft, not that it's any different than any other year. It's going to be wild. Now you got things moving behind the scenes. You think somebody ain't trying to get Max Crosby after the whole Ravens deal? You think I believe that the Patriots are trying to get AJ Brown, but guess what? Howie ain't going to give him away. And guess what? Not for nothing. How important was it to get Elijah Moore here? AJ Brown and Elijah Moore was tight, and that matters because all of the stuff that I've talked about with AJ Brown and his mental health, with his past, with suicide and things of that nature, who was the guy that helped him through that? Elijah Moore. That matters. Do not get it twisted. And that's coming from AJ's mouth. AJ said he was his best friend. AJ said that's the one that helped me out when I was going through. That matters. So we're going to see what happens, man. It's about to be fire around here. Leading up to this damn draft. Boy, it's about to get crazy in these NFL streets. All right, I got to go. I got to get back to work. Yeah, I think I'm definitely going to be on the night. I'm going to watch some of these NCAA games. But yeah, I think I might come back on tonight at like 10. I don't know. Depends on how I'm feeling and what's going on. But we're gonna have to talk about this some more because man, this a lot of things just opened up. A lot of things just opened up just to look at, and you got to reevaluate your train of thought. So, but all right, man. I'm gonna get up out of here. I'm gonna get back to work. Enjoy the rest of y'all day. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Keep an eye out. I'll probably be on tonight just to talk a little bit. Yeah, formulate your thoughts. I'm gonna have the mics open tonight for sure. For sure. All right. I'm gonna get up out of here. Y'all enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Be safe. Love you. I'm out and holla at y'all tonight. Peace.
Mic check. No one likes us, we don't care. Hit the logo on the cap, midnight green on the brim. Pro fan talk, every take in the gym. From the link to the league, I'm connected to the spin. Breaking news, breaking plays where you really want to tap in. Philly on my tongue when I'm calling out a route. Pull a clip, roll a tape, then we talk it out. All 22 on my mind, see the motion pre-snap. I'm in the lab with the facts, you just scrolling through the app. Jalen with the read, I'm explaining what you missed. Why the safety bail late, why the cornerback blitz. From the pass rush twist to the red zone slang. Coach Marcus on the mic with the real fan chant. Pro fan talk, hit the bell, that's law. Break it down from the film to the box score room. Pro fan talk, where the real ones call. From the birds to the league, we gon' cover it all. From the draft room rumors to that waiver wire heat. Trade buzz humming like the crowd on Broad Street. Sunday to Monday, I'm recapping every snap. Tuesday got the bald Eagles filling in the gaps. Eagles on the header, but the scope league wide. How we making deals for the vets on the slide. Quarterback drama, I'ma sort that pile. Coach on the podium, read between the lines. I'm talking rivalries, upsets, underdogs rise, overtime classics, blown calls, bad drives. Jack going crazy when the topic get wild. So we keep it all game, keep it smart, keep it down. Pro fan talk, hit the bell, that's all. Break it down from the